Haven't done one of these in a little bit. Just updating on the unnecessary deaths and tragedies. I have about 67. It's so many people that died since I've last done one of these. So I'll start. Just bear with me while I get it together. I always do go roughshod on this. I just really do by the seat of my pants. Well, here we go. A lot of tragedies. It's very unfortunate. On October 11th, one died. I'm not sure if it was a man or a woman. In Sumterville, Florida, at 11:17 a.m., a Toyota Prius crossed a center line and a tractor trailer hit them. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on the same day, 2 men were found shot and zip-tied, found near the intersection of Solly Avenue and Enfield near the Pennypack Park Trail. That's another man. I think 2 men, rather. On a medical helicopter crashed on the 6th of October on Highway 50 in Sacramento. 3 people were pulled out. 2 survived. One nurse named Susie Smith died on the 10th. She died like 5 days later from her head injury, unfortunately. Alcorn State College. One died and one died, sorry, and 2 were injured in a shooting. I don't know what the gender of the person that died in that shooting. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with that one, but it was in Lorman, Mississippi, at Elkhorn State College when there was a shooting. As I said, gender and age unknown. Mobile, Alabama, Jacob Cross is charged with murder after he hit and dragged a man under his car on October 10th, Wednesday night, after the suspect was fighting with someone, and he got in his car and then he hit the man and dragged him for miles. In Cleveland, Ohio, there was a man by the name, I don't know, there was one person that died, a teenage died in Garden Valley apartments in the Kinsman Avenue neighborhood complex. A 14 and a 16-year-old shot, but the 16-year-old died in that shooting. In Harris County, in an unincorporated area, a deadly shooting happened with one deceased man and a domestic violence disturbance. On 10/10/25 in the Katy neighborhood, a man was shot who did not live at the home. The person who lived there shot the man that showed up, and seems like some domestic violence dispute. There was a mass shooting on Friday night in Mississippi. There was a homecoming weekend where there was a shooting where 6 people died. At first there were 4 that died, and the two people were brought to the hospital that died. There were other injuries, however they survived. And there was in Heidelberg the same night, in Mississippi, 2 more were killed in another shooting, unfortunately. In Tennessee, in Bucksnort, Tennessee, that's the city, there was an Accurate Engineering Systems plant explosion where 16 died, all mix of men and women. In Exeter, California, 2 motorcycles and 1 driver died on I-98. It was a crash in Tulane County. 25-year-old Seth Verretta, 60-year-old Alvin Insay, and 33-year-old Oakley Jones. Oakley made an illegal U-turn and hit the motorcyclist. She died as well. Dallas, Texas, a woman was shot at PetSmart because she did not say thank you after a door was being held for her. The woman's name was Cecilia Simpson, who was shot I don't remember. And Keona Hampton is in custody for doing the shooting. In Williamsburg, Bronx, a 27-year-old man died after a shooting on White Plains Road on Tuesday, October 7th at 6:40 p.m. due to an assault. In Dundalk, Maryland, on 10/8 Wednesday evening, a man died after barricading himself, ending in a police shooting, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. In Nashville, Tennessee, a 74-year-old woman was found strangled to death in her home. Unknown who did it. That was terrible. And also in Detroit, another incident that same day. There were 2 people found dead, a grandmother and grandson. Believed that the grandson murdered her. It was on Griggs Avenue in Detroit. In Miami, Florida, Mason Triana, a 27-year-old, died as a result of a domestic dispute between his 2 siblings. 2 officers were shot in the incident, and Triana escaped and later offed himself. That was on October 9th, on Thursday. In Montgomery County, Maryland, an 11-year-old girl was struck and killed by a school bus riding her bike home Thursday, home from school in the afternoon. In Canton, Ohio, there was a deadly crash. And a man died on his e-bike. He was hit by an SUV that ran a red light. A motorcyclist was killed in Bakersfield, California, where a car made an illegal U-turn, and 41-year-old Angel Barassa from Paramount died, unfortunately. These e-bikes are very dangerous, and these motorcycles are very dangerous, it seems to me. A 45-year-old man died in Camden, New Jersey by the name of Rasa Harris. He died on I-295 when he lost control of his car. There was a fatal pedestrian strike accident in Marlborough, New Jersey on October 11th, an unknown gender and age on Route 9 and Union Head Road. I don't know if it was a man or woman or the age. And Sarah Ellsman, a 44-year-old woman from Raritan area in New Jersey, died from a crash in Branchburg, New Jersey, when she was partially ejected on Route 202. That was on Friday afternoon, October 10th. In Jackson Township, New Jersey, a student from Jackson Township High School was killed. He was killed in a 2-vehicle crash. He was a 16-year-old boy that died in a head-on collision. In Houston, Texas, 2 women started fighting in front of Club Aragon, and the boyfriends got involved in the incident where there was a shooting, and one of the women was shot and died, and her boyfriend survived. In Goodyear, Arizona, a father was killed by his 2 sons. They were fighting with their brother, and one of the brothers was charged with assault, the other with murder. It was a 41-year-old father that was killed. History of a lot of violence in this home. They think that this is similar to like a Menendez brothers situation. In San Leandro, California, 2 were killed on Saturday morning in a westbound I-238 crash. The police were chasing the suspect, and they had crashed on the off-ramp. 2 died in that crash. In South Carolina, 4 were killed at a bar shooting in St. Helena Island in South Carolina in the Low Country. It was at Willie's Bar, and 4 were killed that day. That was yesterday on it was like either Saturday night of the 11th going into Sunday the 12th. In Miami, Florida, a community activist by the name of Dwight C. Wells, he was shot in front of his Liberty City restaurant. He had just turned his life around. He had spent some time in prison, and this was just a very unfortunate incident. In Northwestern Texas, on October 12th, a man was shot at 3:05 and found dead near a convenience store. This is the 46th homicide of the year in Austin, Texas. On October 12th, the plane crash in Fort Worth, Texas, yesterday. It crashed into a tractor trailers, in which killed 2 people. In Nashville, Tennessee, on the 13th, a pregnant woman was killed by her boyfriend, Amare Ramsey. She was 17. Her name was Anya Finney, and he's now being held on $1 million bond. So those are 2, a woman and her unborn child, unknown gender of the child. Today in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, 2 are dead when a plane crashed onto I-195 today on the highway. It sideswiped a car. I don't think the person in the car died. The flight was not filed with the FAA. A lot of it's being blamed on the government shutdown. I don't know where that is, but it seems like there's a lot of plane crashes and aviation things going on lately, starting up again. And the unfortunately last incident happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin yesterday. A woman by the name of Carrie Zattel, 64, was stoned in her head or hit in her head by her daughter, a 29-year-old mentally ill daughter. The woman had called 911 prior to her being unalived, and the police came and did nothing. It seemed like they looked for her and they couldn't find her, and then somehow the woman showed up again at her mother's house and caused severe head trauma by hitting her with a stone. So unfortunately, those are 67 incidences. That's a lot of people that have died. It's very unfortunate.